do something similar, try and put this, but
our council meeting of the 14th of July. If I could please ask everybody to stand for our opening karakia. Te tawa mai o ngā, te tawa mai i raro, te tawa mai i roto, te tawa mai i waho. Kia tau ai mauritu, te mauri ora, ki te katoa, haunge, huie, tae kie. We have apologies from Councillor Brown. If I could have a mover. Thank you, Councillor Mawson and Councillor Crystal. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Conflicts of interest.
Item 1 in reports from Napier People and Places Committee. Council support for the sale and supply of alcohol harm minimisation amendment bill, private members bill.
Thank you. And Councillor McGrath?
Same for myself. Same conflict. Same report.
And do we just need to note that you didn't actually declare a conflict for that first time it came to council?
Apparently so, yes, just noting that.
Because you didn't realise that you had
Because
it.
I didn't realise at the time the effect it could have.
Thank you, Councillor McGrath. We do not have any public forum today. Announcements by myself. I do just want to take an opportunity to remind people that we have until the 22nd of July to make submissions to the Water Services Bill, which of course relates to the proposed Three Waters reform. So if you are interested in finding out more about that or making a submission, you can go to our council website and there's information on there to assist you with that. So that's up until the 22nd of July. Are there any minor matters not on the agenda? And announcements by management. Confirmation of minutes, and I think we'll just do these all together. So there was the ordinary meeting of council held on the Thursday, 2nd of June, ordinary meeting of council held on Wednesday, the 22nd of June, and the meeting of council held on Thursday, the 30th of June. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Price and Councillor Wright. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Right, and we will jump right into our agenda items. First up, we have the adoption of the Water Supply Bylaw Review 2022. And we have Lance and Russell to present the paper, please.
Through you, Madam Chair. Sorry. So as per the report, our recommendation is to adopt the proposed bylaw.
We're happy to take the report as read, and if the council has any questions, yes.
Thank you. I'll open up for any questions from councillors. Bearing in mind we have had, of course, the hearing process, so it wouldn't surprise me if there are no questions. No, excellent. So can I please have a mover and seconder? For...
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councillor Price, seconded by Councillor Simpson. Did you wish to speak to that, Councillor Price?
That's just a move in the right direction.
Thank you. Councillor Simpson?
Yep. No, we heard from residents regards the bylaw, and I think we had a very positive result, and it is a move forward, so it's great.
Thank you. Did anyone else wish to speak to the motion? No, I will therefore put that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. So moving on to the adoption. Thank you very
Thank
much, Lance and Russell. Moving on to the adoption of the Trade Waste and Wastewater Bylaw Review 2022, and I would invite Cameron to come and present the paper, please.
Good morning, councillors. Caitlin is also online, coming to us live from Guildford in the UK. You've been through the process so far to the point of the hearings for this paper, so I will take the paper as read, although for a quick summary, there has been some very minor changes made subsequent to receiving the letter from the Associate Minister of Health, which have been made in the document which is under separate cover number 1. So the administration manual and the trade waste bylaw itself is available under that separate cover. Those amendments have been noted in bullet points 1 to 4 in the background summary. And that is the summary of changes.
Excellent, thank you. Cameron, any questions? Okay. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Simpson. Seconded by Councillor Tapani. Councillor Simpson.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor. I'm more than happy to move this motion. The public consultation and the proposed improvements to our trade waste bylaws and things will be significant. I also endorse the amendments that management are proposing as good changes to the bylaw post the public consultation period. So I'm more than happy to move and support this move for the future.
Thank you, Councillor Tapani. Any other councillors wish to speak? No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you very much, Cameron and Caitlin.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
And our final agenda item on today's open agenda before we move into the standing committees is the Chief Executive's report. So I will hand it over to Steph.
Thank you, Your Worship, and tēnā koutou katoa. Happy to present this 6-weekly Chief Executive report to you. There's a lot of detail in there, and although we are always got things to celebrate, there's also some really significant things in there for us in our community, such as getting very close to finalising the Infrastructure Acceleration Fund from Maraenui, $12.5 million, and we were also successful in the $700,000 for the Tourism Infrastructure Fund to contribute to our work to revitalise the inner harbour. I probably, in this report, would like to draw your attention to the page which has the bills on the horizon. It's 38 of your pack, but for the public, just briefly running through that, we are expecting in the next few months that we will have the second Water Service Entity Bill, the Natural and Built Environment Bill, the Spatial Planning Bill, and the Civil Defence and Emergency Management Amendment Act. So just a big portfolio for us as we continue to work through our water reforms, our resource management reforms, and our civil defence reforms. I'll leave it there and happy to take any questions as always.
Thank you, Steph. And questions? Thank you, Councillor Bogue.
Thank you very much, Chief Executive. It's really interesting and informative to have this report. I just have a question about the central government consultations and bills that are coming up. Obviously, we're making a submission as a council to the water bill, but how many of the others are we intending to make submissions to, and what's the process in terms of getting council support for that?
So it is very much a case-by-case basis, Councillor Bogue, in terms of how the process that we take things through. So when a bill is on the horizon, it's obviously assessed by officers in terms of relevance. The ones that I have just listed, I think we can all accept are deeply relevant. And then we decide whether or not we are able to circulate that. So councillors will be aware that when council officers make a submission, we circulate it to you for your consideration, or whether or not it needs to come through a formal council process for endorsement. Not so easy to foresee on some of these bills, such as like the self-contained vehicle bill, but certainly I would be expecting that there will need to be quite a bit of debate on the RMA bills and the civil defence bills, as it is still largely unknown for us what the form of those bills will take. So I'm happy to explore that question a little bit further, Your Worship, but it is a case-by-case basis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Brosnan.
Thank you, Steph, for the report. It was really detailed and great as usual. One of the bits, of course, I read with interest was the War Memorial Restoration project. And I see that we've hit sort of another major milestone there with applying for resource consent. And I also note that the other milestone in there is going out for tender, which I understand is out at the moment. When does that, do we have someone here who could say when that closes?
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship, I'll just ask the Executive Director of Community Services, Darren. Thanks.
Through the Chair, the actual tender goes out on Tuesday, and it will be a month unless we get anyone who comes forward that could be accelerated, I suppose. But it'll depend on the quality of tenders, but it opens on Tuesday.
Thank you. And the only other thing I wanted to, I suppose, respond to is that I think there had been a little bit of community misconception around the traffic light system that we use here, and I had seen some commentary that this project has been put on amber instead of all go being green. I just wanted to provide you an opportunity maybe to clarify that.
Thank you for that question again, through you, Your Worship. The traffic light process is not about putting things on hold. It's about giving you a visual indication of how projects are tracking. And so if there has been any confusion in the community, we're more than happy to seek your advice as to how to best represent that, but absolutely not put on hold. There is the potential to remove it from the report and just go with the narrative. We can discuss that offline. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, could I have a mover and seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Price and Councillor Bogue. Did you wish to speak to that?
Just, it's a well put together report. Congratulations and to the Chief Executive and obviously staff who helped to put this together. And I do like the traffic light system, even if you've got to run an orange light sometimes. But yeah, no, well done.
Thank you, Councillor Bogue. Any other councillors? Councillor Tapney.
Thank you. And through you, Your Worship, really this is just an opportunity to speak to our constituents and residents around the Chief Executive's report. I welcome the indications around the legislative change that we're currently going through, and as you've mentioned in your comments, foreshadowing some of these significant changes coming forward. So I'd encourage our residents to read through in detail as we approach the elections. It all should weigh heavily on their minds around the candidacy and who they'd like to see lead us into the next 3, 6, 9 years. But it does give an indicator of some of the tsunami of change that's coming from central government. So ngā mihi to the Chief Executive for a well-constructed report.
Thank you, Councillor Tapney. I will now put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Right, moving into our reports and recommendations from the standing committees. First up, Napier People and Places, 9th of June 2022. We will take these two reports separately due to the conflicts of interest declared. First up was council support for the sale and supply of alcohol harm minimisation amendment bill with private members bill. I had asked for some additional clarification on this. You may recall that the original debate, there was a sort of lack of clarity around the advertising portion of the private members bill. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to receive that information. It may partly be due to me because I didn't ask until yesterday. So my apologies for that. But I think at the time, the debate showed that it wasn't particularly the lack of clarity that actually led to the way that we chose to support this paper. It was more that we felt that advertising of alcohol did not really sit within council's mandate to be making recommendations on, whereas the local alcohol policy and the removal of that being able to be challenged is clearly something that sits within our council mandate. So if there's no questions, I don't know that we actually have a council officer here to talk to it anyway, but were there any questions on this one? Therefore, I will put the motion. All those in favour, please say. Oh, sorry, mover and seconder would assist. Thank you, Councillor Wright and Deputy Mayor Brosnan. Did you wish to speak to this? No. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against?
No.
So Councillor Taylor and Councillor Mawson are voting against. Carried. Thank you. Next, we have the Hawke's Bay Museums Trust Collection Management Agreement. I have a mover and seconder. Thank you, Councillor Bogue and Councillor Crown. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Moving on to our reports from the Prosperous Napier Committee held on the 9th of June. If you would like any of these taken separately, please let me know as I move through them. 1 was the Health and Safety Report, Q3. 2 was the Loan Guarantee. 3, Projects and Development. 4, Long-Term Plan Amendment. And 5, the Investment and Debt Report, noting that item 6 was a decision of council. If I could have a mover and seconder, thank you, Councillor Crystal and Councillor Mawson. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Sustainable Napier Committee on the 16th of June, item 1, curbside recycling was a decision of council, as was item 5, initiation of process to change reserve purpose. So we have the capital program delivery, the Three Waters operational update, and the joint solid waste bylaw review update, and the lease of subsoil of road. If I could have a mover, thank you, Councillor Price, seconded by Councillor Simpson. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Future Napier Committee held on the 16th of June. Now, just noting that item 3, the climate change position statement, there was an amendment made to the position statement, which has now been updated in all the relevant documents. So moving through the reports, the Ahiriri Regional Park Joint Committee Terms of Reference, Design Brief and Business Case for Station Street Community Facility, Climate Change Position Statement, Napier Inner Harbour Development Plan, Resource Consent Activity Update, and the Proposed District Plan Notification. A mover, thank you, Deputy Mayor Brosnan, seconded by Councillor Crown. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Reports from the Audit and Risk Committee on the 29th of June. Sensitive expenditure for the Mayor and Chief Executive. Health and Safety Report, Q3. The Investment Property Portfolio Review. Investment Policy Review. Risk Management Report. External Accountability Audit New Zealand Management Report. If I could have a mover, thank you, Councillor Simpson, and I'm happy to second that. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. And lastly, the reports from Ngā Manukanaka o Te Iwi held on the 1st of July, the Tareo Māori Policy and the Waste Management and Minimization Update. Just to comment on the Tareo Māori Policy, that will be coming through to us at Council in the very near future. So I'm happy to move from the chair those 2 papers. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Crown. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. And last on our open agenda are the reports under delegated authority and the tenders let. Are there any questions of council officers on those? No, can I have a mover and seconder, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brosnan and Councillor Taylor. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. That brings us to the conclusion of our open agenda. I think that's probably the quickest council meeting we've had for quite some time. So could I have a mover and seconder to go into public excluded? Thank you, Councillor Mawson and Councillor Taylor. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. We will just have